This conference will now be recorded.
So yesterday we discussed something about what is the problem with the procedure oriented approach. What are the differences between procedure orientation and object orientation, procedure orientation and object orientation. I think we are discussing this concept. Am I correct? So what is meant by procedure orientation and what is meant by object orientation? So in case of procedure orientation, what is the drawback? What is the drawback with procedure orientation system? What is the drawback with the procedure orientation system? The drawback is the code, data and code that act upon the data and code that act upon the data, they are not properly organized. It is the problem. When they are not properly organized, what will happen? Complexity can't be handled properly, and also data is not secure. Data is not secure. So when somebody will ask you what is the difference between procedure and object orientation, we have to answer them. In procedure orientation, the data and code that act upon the data, they are not properly organized. But whereas in object orientation, they are properly organized. So I have shared the images also for your reference sake, for better understanding. So this is the first diagram, or I think it is the second diagram. So in a banking application, by looking at this diagram, you could able to answer now, no doubt at all. Is it developed in the procedure oriented or object oriented style? No doubt at all, it is developed in the procedure oriented style. So every program contains a data and code that act upon the data. In a banking application, balance is the very important data. Manager, cashier, watchman, sweeper, everybody is a function, assume like that. So if the bank application is developed in the procedure oriented style, who is eligible to access the data called balance? Everyone is eligible to access the balance. Suppose one valuable customer is there, one VIP customer for this bank. Always he will maintain 1 crore minimum balance in his account. One fine day, he approached the manager for balance inquiry. Assume manager replied that you are having 0 rupees in your account. That means someone updated the balance with 0 from 1 crore to 0. Now tell me, who did this mistake? Who is the culprit now? Who is the culprit? Everybody is the culprit. I have to inquire everyone, manager, cashier, watchman, sweeper, because everyone got equal right to access the balance. I have to suspect everyone. So there is no security to the data. Sir, in procedure oriented style, there is no security to the data. So now the next one is, sir, as I said, a program is a collection of variables and functions. Assume it is a very big project, almost having 1000 variables or 100 variables and 10,000 functions. Because of this V3 variable, for this application, I am getting unexpected output or a wrong output. The application is not behaving properly. Now I want to know who accessed this V3 and who modified the value of V3. Who is processing the V3? I want to know. I want to debug. I want to debug every function. In every function, minimum 100 lines are there, assume. So everybody is eligible to access V3 because it is developed in the procedure oriented style. From function 1 to 10,000 function, every function, every line belongs to the function we are supposed to verify. By chance, sir, if that line is the last line in the last function, can you please observe that how much time it will take for a debugging? Very huge amount of time it is going to take for a debugging purpose. Am I correct or not? 10,000 functions, every function containing 100 lines of code, almost 10 lakh lines of code. Assume our fate is like that. Sir, accessing V3 is in the last function, last line, sir. So after debugging these many lines of code, I just came to know that the last line in the last function is accessing V3. So we need to modify that line or that code. So a small problem if occurs in this procedure oriented style, so it takes more time to handle that problem. So what is the problem here? It is a complexity we cannot handle in a easy process. So because of these reasons, object oriented methodology become more popular when compared to the procedure oriented, because we can overcome the drawbacks of procedure orientation in object orientation. Sir, as per your knowledge, can anyone tell me, according to your banking terms and regulations, who is eligible to access the balance? General scenario. Sir, either a manager, in the absence of manager, cashier also eligible. So why don't you club them? Sir, why don't you club them? What is clubbing? Sir, this is data and eligible code. Eligible, sir, these are all functions only. But among all these functions, who is eligible to access the balance? Manager or cashier. So clubbing the data and the eligible code that act upon the data into a single unit of organization is possible in object orientation, which is nothing but we can call it as a encapsulation. Sir, what is the benefit of clubbing? Sir, if watchman tries to access the balance, sorry, you are not allowed to access. Sir, sweeper, is there any chance? Sorry, you are not allowed into this room. Sir, this unit, this balance is accessible to either manager or cashier. Sir, this kind of mechanism we can implement in object oriented style, and that is nothing but encapsulation. Now tell me everyone, what is encapsulation? Encapsulation is nothing but the process of combining the data and the eligible code that act upon the data into a single unit of organization so that my data is secured. Sir, is the data is secured from hackers? No. The data is secured from ineligible code of the same application. Sir, in the same project, these two functions are not eligible function. So from the ineligible code of the same project, the data is 100% secure. Now tell me, the same situation, the VIP customer approached the bank and inquired the manager. Yeah, manager replied that you are having 0 rupees in your account. Now tell me, anyone in the batch, am I supposed to inquire even watchman and sweeper also in this case? Now tell me, is it required? Not required, because as you are not having any rights to access balance, why should I have to inquire watchman and sweeper? No, not required. Now let us come to your first image. Sir, according to the project requirement, V3 must be accessed by function 70, function 99, function 120 only. Sir, these functions only must access V3. Why don't you club them? Data and eligible functions to act upon the data, why don't you club them? Sir, after clubbing also something went wrong because of the V3. Now tell me, even though after clubbing the data and eligible code that act upon the data, again if something went wrong, now tell me, am I required to debug each and every function like 10,000 functions? It is a foolishness, not required. Who is eligible to access V3? F70, F99, F120. You have to interrogate only those 3 functions. How much time it will take? Very short period of time it will take. Now I could able to handle if something went wrong in a simple way or not. Yes, it is possible. How it is possible? Because we are clubbing the data and eligible code that act upon the data. That concept is nothing but encapsulation. Now let me write what are the object oriented features. Sir, what are the object oriented principles or features of object orientation? So encapsulation, second one abstraction, second one abstraction, and polymorphism and inheritance. So these are the four pillars of object orientation. These are the four pillars. Don't say method overloading, operator overloading, overriding, interface concept, abstract classes. Sir, these are all object orientation features. No, they are all not object oriented features. You are going to learn what they are. The four pillars of object orientation is nothing but encapsulation, abstraction, polymorphism, inheritance. So just now we covered what is mean by encapsulation. Anyone tell me? Sir, with encapsulation, what happened in this diagram? With encapsulation, what happened in the diagram? Sir, before this clubbing, data is data is roaming. After clubbing, data is roaming. Sir, within the room only, whoever there, you are only eligible to access this balance. But before this construction of the room, data is roaming. If you know English, exactly what is the meaning of roaming and rooming? Sir, roaming means you can travel anywhere. Sir, my mobile is my mobile or service provider of your SIM supports a roaming facility. Means what? Same number. When you travel to Karnataka state or Tamil Nadu or some other Kerala, you are going to get incoming calls and you are going to make outgoing calls also. That is called roaming. If your SIM doesn't support roaming, it is accessible within in your state only. That is called roaming. Sir, before clubbing, data is freely flowing in the entire project. Before clubbing, data is freely flowing in the entire project, saying that, hello, anyone can access me, please. Like it is saying that. But with object orientation, what we can do? Everybody is not eligible to access the balance, only eligible functions. Why don't we club them? This clubbing mechanism is nothing but encapsulation. Have you heard about this term called in the medicinal field? There is something called capsule. Sir, what is capsule? So a plastic wrapper is there. A plastic wrapper. Sir, within that plastic wrapper, a small pills, medicinal pills is there. Sir, these medicinal pills are prevented from exposing to the atmosphere. So atmosphere interaction. So nothing will happen to this medicinal pills. So this plastic wrapper is nothing but encapsulation, and that medicinal pills is nothing but a balance, and that atmosphere is nothing but a watchman and a sweeper. So this watchman and sweeper cannot interact with the balance because it is wrapped by some plastic wrapper. That a plastic wrapping is nothing but encapsulation. Encapsulation. Now tell me, are you comfortable with this definition of encapsulation? Everyone, what is encapsulation? Encapsulation is the process of combining the data and eligible code that act upon the data, into a single unit of organization, is nothing but encapsulation. Sir, do you know what is abstraction? Before going to the abstraction, sir, tomorrow, maybe in future, if I develop any language with my name called Pavan language, like Java language, C language, C++, Python, suppose there may be a programming language with the name called Pavan. Can I call this Pavan language as a object-oriented programming language? Can I call this language as a object-oriented programming language? Yes, you can. When, while developing this programming language, who developed this programming language, I don't know. if they implemented all these features, 4 pillars of object orientation in their programming language, suppose if these 4 features are, implemented strongly in these programming languages, in this programming language, then I can call it as a object oriented programming language. No sir, the developer of this programming language doesn't implemented polymorphism and inheritance. Sorry, you are not going to be object oriented programming language. In order to call this language as a object oriented programming language, in that language there must be a support for all these 4 pillars of object orientation. Then only I can call it as a object oriented programming language. Now sir, observe here, there is a TV, LED TV, 40 inches or 50 inches. I want to watch one channel. I can operate this with one remote. Sir, when I press button number 2, channel 2 will be, we can see that channel 2. So whatever your favorite setting, like in some particular order, you will arrange the channels in every home. So when I press button 1 and button 0 simultaneously, you are going to view channel 10 like this. Now the question is, when you are interacting with one button, 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, whatever it may be, inside the battery, what is happening? Sir, which program is written inside? How this program is activating the channel? Sir, is it required for every customer? Can anyone tell me? Sir, is it required for me to know internal details? Sir, when I press any button, sir, this button is going to activate which functionality? That functionality is going to activate how channel is going to be, how we are going to get the channel, required channel on the TV. Is it required for everyone to know these internal implementation details? Not required. Not required. Sir, not required. Absolutely not required. Whenever you are interacting with one switch in the switchboard, sir, in the switchboard I am having 10 switches. When I switch on, assume the fan is rotating. Sir, when I interact with the switch, automatically pad is rotating. When I want to stop the fan, again I will switch off the button. Again I will switch off the button. When I interacted with the button, sir, from which wire current is coming? Sir, which is the neutral wire? How they are connected internally? Is it required for me? Not required. So remember, while developing a project, sometimes we are required to show only essential functionality by hiding implementation details. Sir, in most of the cases while developing a project, we are supposed to expose only required thing by hiding implementation details. So this feature is nothing but abstraction. So what is abstraction means? Sir, abstraction means showing essential functionality. Abstraction means showing essential functionality by hiding implementation details is nothing but abstraction. Sir, it is nothing but abstraction. Now I want to know what is a polymorphism, what is inheritance. And before going to that, you know, sir, why object oriented methodology become very popular? Because in procedure orientation we have some drawback. What the drawback? From last session we are discussing the same story. Data and code that act upon the data, they are not properly organized. Now remember, sir, in object oriented style, using first one and second one, we can overcome the drawback of the procedure orientation style. Whatever the problem is there in the procedure orientation, we are unable to organize them properly. Sir, this is the problem with the procedure orientation. But in object orientation, this will not happen because of the first 2 features. But remember, always your new technology, not only it should cover the drawbacks, some extra features also people can expect. Sir, whenever a new technology is coming to the market, always a new technology should not concentrate only on the how to overcome the drawbacks of the existing technology, it should concentrate on some extra features also. So in that way, object orientation, the first two features, using the first two features, we can overcome the drawback of the procedure orientation, whereas these two things are providing some additional features, additional flexibility to the programmer. Sir, these two features, with these two features, sir, programmer can get some additional, sir, additional flexibility. Sir, it will enable additional flexibility to the programmer. With that, we can implement a RAD. Sir, what is a RAD means? Rapid application development. Rapid application development. What is mean by rapid application? Application is nothing but one project. Application is nothing but one project. Application is nothing but one project. So with the help of the third feature and fourth feature, within a short period of time, we can implement the project. So because these two features are giving additional flexibility. Now let us understand what is polymorphism. Let us understand what is a polymorphism. So sir, what is a polymorphism? You know, so polymorphism is nothing but it's a Greek language. Sir, in Greek, poly means many, morph means many, and morph means forms. Morph means forms. Sir, many forms. When an object is taking many forms, it is a feature called a polymorphism. Sir, we didn't understand that an object is taking different forms. It is called as a polymorphism. Can you please give me one example? Like if you ask me, I will show you one creature in this world. I will show you one creature in this world. I think we can call it as a chameleon. What we can call in the Telugu, we can call it as a Usaravelli. So observe that, sir, this chameleon can change its color based on the environment. Based on the surrounding, it is going to change its color. Same object, based on the surrounding environment, it is going to change its color. Same object exhibiting different color is nothing but a polymorphic. I can give one more best example. Sir, human beings are the most dangerous polymorphic objects. Sir, why human beings are most polymorphic object? So can you please observe that? Whenever you are with your friends, the same person, what is the behavior? Whenever you are with the parents, what is your behavior? Sir, whenever you are in a classroom, whenever you are in a classroom, what is your behavior? Whenever you are alone in a room, alone, you are the only person in a room, what is your behavior? What is your behavior? Now tell me, anyone in the batch, in all these situations, the person is going to behave in a same way or in a different way? I'm expecting the answer from you. Sir, different behavior. Sir, when we are with the friends, our behavior is different. Whenever with our parents, our behavior is so polite. Whenever we are with our relatives, too smart we are going to act. Too smart we are going to act. Whenever you are going to be with your girlfriend, you are going to behave differently. So innocent. Whenever you are staying alone in the room, your behavior is different. So in all these cases, same person behaving differently based on the situation. So it is a best example for polymorphic. Can I share one more example? Are you ready? Can I share one more example to understand polymorphism? But don't assume that polymorphism concept is over. Don't assume like, now, you know, according to my knowledge, sir, this sentence is a perfect example for polymorphism. So a boy can start love with the word friendship, whereas a girl stop love with the word friendship. Read very carefully. Read very carefully, everyone. A boy can start love with one word called friendship, whereas a girl can stop love with the word called friendship. Sir, the word is same. The word is the same. but this word is behaving differently here. The same word means differently here. Now, yeah, is it a perfect apt for polymorphism or not? Yes or no? No doubt at all. So the same object is behaving differently in different situation is nothing but polymorphic. Next one. Sir, what is that? You know, inheritance. Sir, inheritance. Sir, with inheritance, we are going to get a code reusability. Sir, what is the code reusability and all? What are the types of inheritance? Everything we are going to study in our coming sessions. So with inheritance, we are going to get one beautiful feature called code reusability. Now, I hope that everyone understood that. Sir, in procedure orientation, what is the drawback? How to overcome that drawback in object orientation means with a concept called encapsulation. But always our new paradigm or new approach or new style, always it should not concentrate on the drawback only. It should provide some extra features also. So the first two features are drawback covering features. The next two features are somewhat additional features. It will give extra flexibility to the programmer at the time of developing an application. So these are the 4 pillars of object orientation. If any programming language that implements these 4 pillars in their programming language, then that language we can call it as a object oriented programming language. Clear, right? Now at last, finally, sir, assume there is one person called, every time why should we have to take same example, PK Pavan Kalyan. Sir, there is one student S1. Sir, there is one student called S2. There is one student called S3. Sir, in their annual celebration, these 3 students decided to perform some dance. They want to perform some dance, but everybody, they want to perform some style of PK they want to follow. Now tell me, is there any chance that 3 students can perform in a same way? Is there any possibility? Is there? No way. No way. Sir, the way S1 can follow the PK and S2 can follow and S3 can follow, that all depends on them. Sir, S1 can implement PK style in different way and S2 can imitate the Power Star Pavan Kalyan in a different way, and S3 can imitate PK in a different way. That all up to them. So in this example, sir, in the place of PK, we have something called object oriented features, sir. Sir, these 4 features, implemented in the C++, they are implemented in the Java and even in the Python. Now tell me, everyone, what are the similarity between these all programming languages? They all seems to be similar. What are the similarity between student 1, student 2 and student 3? So all the student imitated same famous personality called PK or Power Star. Am I right? So here also the 3 programming languages following same object oriented features. The way these 4 features are implemented in C++, the way these 4 features are implemented in the Java, the way these 4 features are implemented in Python, they may be similar or they may be different. They may be similar or they may be different. Now understood everyone? What is the similarity? What is the similarity? Everyone, are you in a position to understand what is the similarity? Now, so we just came to know that what are the 4 pillars of object orientation: encapsulation and abstraction and polymorphism and inheritance. Now in the interview board, when you are attending some interview on the Java, there may be a chance people can ask you one question. Can you please show me? Can you please show me in your project where is encapsulation feature is implemented? What is the question? What is the question? Can you please show me in your project, in your Java project, where is the encapsulation feature is implemented? Like if the person asked you one question in the interview board, if they ask you one question, can you please show me in your project where is encapsulation feature is implemented? Just answer them wherever in my project, sir, wherever in my project or in my Java program, if you encounter the terms called class and object, their encapsulation is implemented. That's it. Very simple answer. Now we are going to understand what is a class and what is object. Don't worry about that. So if somebody will ask you, can you please show me in your project or in your Java program, how did you implemented encapsulation? Can you please show me one place at least? We have to answer them. Can you please go through the total program, whether it is a 20 lines or 200 pages, wherever you encounter the terms called class and object, wherever you will face these terms called class and object, no doubt at all, their encapsulation is implemented. Now, sir, what is a class? What is an object? What is a class and what is an object? In order to understand what is a class and what is an object, first we should go for few minutes from Java discussion to C programming language discussion. Then again we will come back and we will understand what is a class and what is an object. What is a question is, sir, what is a structure, sir? What is a structure? Next question is why a structure? Next question is what is the need? What is the need of a structure? What is the need of a structure? And next one is what is the limitation of a structure? What is the limitation of a structure? But sir, in order to understand, in order to answer the above four questions, before answering the above four questions, just a few seconds or few minutes, we will discuss some physics related topic, some kind of physics related topic. Few minutes we are going to discuss some physics. You know, what are the fundamental quantities in your physics? Fundamental quantities like mass, length, time. Sir, what are the fundamental units to represent this fundamental quantity? Mass can be measured in kgs or grams or something like length in meters or kilometer, time in seconds. These are the fundamental units. Now my question is, with the above quantities or units, sir, with the above fundamental units, sir, with above fundamental units, is it possible to represent every physical item in the world? What is your answer? Anyone knows about this question? Do you have any idea about this? Can you please answer? Sir, with only above fundamental units, something like grams or kgs or meters, is it possible to represent every physical item in the world? Is it possible? Somebody is saying, is it possible to represent every physical item? Not at all possible. Not at all possible, sir. We are sometimes going to derive the quantity, like your something like we are going to derive some derived units are there, derived units. So you are not supposed to ask me this physics question. Why? You are not supposed to ask me. Please go through your 10th class or 6th class, 7th class, 8th class physics textbook, open that. Sir, with these fundamental units, we can't represent every physical item. There are n number of units are there. There are n number of units are there which are derived from these fundamental units to represent physical items in a flexible manner. So with these fundamental units, it is not comfortable to represent every physical item in a comfortable manner. So you can just open your textbook and you can go through that, you can understand that. So there are several derived units are there. Several derived units are there. With the help of some derived units, we are able to represent so many physical items in a comfortable way. Now the question is, you know, sir, I want to develop one school application, school level application I want to develop. Sir, while developing school application, frequently used term is nothing but a student. I want to represent student information. Lot of information will be there. What is student name? What is student Aadhaar number? What is student contact number? What is student section? Which section he belongs to? How much amount of fee paid? What is his roll number? What are the marks obtained in the final examination? What is the average? What is the grade? Like a lot of information is there. Apart from that, sir, every school or college will be having a library. I want to develop one project for library also. In a library project, what is the frequently used term? Book. Sir, for every book, what is the title? In which year it is published? Which edition it was? How many pages are there? Who is the author of this book? What is the cost of the book? Which volume it was? Is it volume 1 or volume 2 or volume 3? Like a lot of information we are going to start. Now I want to develop one banking application. Sir, in a banking application, what is the entity that we are frequently use? Account. For every account, we are supposed to create one account number, account holder name, what is the type of the account, what is the balance in the account, what is the IFSC code of that particular account, like lot of information. Now tell me, sir, if you want to develop the above application in the C programming language, do you know C programming language, what are the fundamental data types? What are the fundamental data types in the C programming language? Sir, there is something called character, integer, float, double. Sir, these are the fundamental data types. Sir, with these fundamental data types, is it possible for me to represent students' information in a flexible manner? Yes, you can represent, no problem. But in a flexible manner, we can't represent. Lot of complexity will be involved. Sir, with the fundamental data type, we cannot represent student information in a flexible manner. Then I will get a doubt in my mind. Sir, why Dennis Ritchie not provided a data type with the name called student? Why Dennis Ritchie not provided a data type with the name called book and account and a train, movie, ticket, something like with all these names, why Dennis Ritchie not provided? Don't worry. Dennis Ritchie doesn't know in future what type of objects will come. So that is the reason Dennis Ritchie created and provided only fundamental data types and has given a chance to the user. Hello user, what is your requirement? Do you want to create any data type on your own? Happily you can create. With what name you want to create? Do you want to create with employee? Do you want to create with a network? Do you want to create a data type with the name called student? Do you want a data type with the name called book? Do you want to create with a data type called computer? Do you want to create a data type with the name called item? No problem. We are giving some facility to you. Happily you can create any data type what you want as per your requirement, your business application requirement. Happily you can create whatever the data type that you want. Now I have a question. Sir, at the time of learning C programming language, my faculty didn't cover this topic. How it is possible to create student data type, employee data type, book data type, computer data type? So have you heard about this term called structure concept? Anyone tell me? Have you heard about this term called structure? Sir, structure. So using structures concept, we could able to create our own data type, user defined data type. Sir, using structure we can create our own means user defined data type. Sir, we can create user defined data type. Hello Dennis Ritchie, you have not provided me one data type called student or employee or book. Don't worry, but however by the God's grace you have provided me one beautiful facility called a structure concept. So using structure concept I can create my own data type. Sir, how to create a structure? You know, sir, there is a keyword called struct. With what name you want to create? With the student, open bracket, closing bracket, followed by semicolon. Sir, every student contains what? Every student contains roll number, every student contains student name, every student contains total marks, every student contains average. Now everyone tell me, sir, what is this roll number? Sir, it is something like integer. Am I correct or not? Sir, every student is having group of character, so it is an array. Sir, every student total marks is nothing but integer, and every student average is nothing but float data type. Now tell me, successfully you have created one data type called student data type. Successfully you created one data type called student data type. Now tell me, what is the structure? Structure is a collection of elements. Structure is a collection of elements of either similar or dissimilar data type. Sir, why you are saying that similar or dissimilar data type? So do you know there is one complex number called a plus ib? It will take the form of a plus ib. Sir, this is the real part and imaginary part. Sir, can I have any data type called complex in the C language? Sorry, not possible. Okay, no problem. Struct complex data type. Sir, real number, comma, real number, comma, imaginary part, sir. Now I was successfully created one data type called complex data type. But here structure is a collection of elements of similar type. But here in this example, structure is a collection of elements of dissimilar type. So that's why, what is the structure means? Everyone, can you please tell me what is the structure? Sir, structure is a collection of either similar or dissimilar type. Will you accept my vote? Please respond. Collection is a collection of either similar or dissimilar type. It is a collection of either similar or dissimilar type. Now tell me, sir, why a structure? Why a structure? Sir, why a structure concept is required? Sir, structure concept is required to create user defined data type. Sir, whenever if you want to create one data type with a name specified by the user, sir, with that name there is no data type in that programming language, no problem, you can create a data type of your own choice. For that, structure concept is there. Sir, why a structure means? What is your answer? To create user defined data type. To create user defined data type. Immediately people will ask you, sir, what is the need of this structure? What is the need of user defined data type? What is the need of user defined data type? Sir, our C programming language is providing beautifully so many options for you. Int is there, char is there, float, long integer, double, long double, short integer, signed integer, unsigned integer, n number of options given by the C programming language. Why you are supposed to create your own data type like student, employee, account number? Sir, the reason is while developing business applications, sir, student is nothing but entity. It is an entity while developing this application. Sir, book is one entity. Book is one entity while developing this application. Frequently used term. Frequently used term. Frequently used term. So if you want to represent one business entity information in a flexible manner, sir, flexible manner, flexible manner, definitely we should go for our own data type. So what is the need of user defined data type? To represent one business entity. Like what is the example of business entity? To represent student information, account information, book information, employee information while developing any business application. To represent one business entity information in a flexible manner. Sir, in a flexible manner. Hope understood everyone. Hope that everybody understood the point. Now coming to the last point. Sir, coming to the last point. As I said that, sir, program contains not only data. Program contains not only data. Program contains some code that act upon the data also. Am I correct or not? Program not only contains data, it contains a code that act upon the data. Now, sir, assume in this project called, sir, in this project called student project. Student project, sir, there is one function is there, class underscore teacher, and principal is one function. Sir, sweeper is another function. Cashier, otherwise accountant is another function. Clerical staff, clerical staff is one more function. Sir, from last few sessions we are discussing the same point. In any program, definitely we should have data and code that act upon the data. Sir, this is the data part. This is the data part. In order to set roll number, in order to modify student name, in order to process the total, in order to process average, what is required? Code is required. Code is nothing but functions. Sir, code is nothing but functions. Code is nothing but functions. Now tell me, sir, I have created one variable called structure variable. Struct to student S1. Sir, struct to student S1. Now tell me, who is eligible to access this data called S1? In procedure oriented style, who is eligible to access the student one's data? Everyone is eligible. Sir, everyone is eligible. Class teacher, principal, sweeper, accountant, clerical staff, everyone is eligible. Sir, if everyone is eligible, then complexity cannot be handled and data is not secure. Okay, I understood that. Sir, as per college norms, as per school norms, college norms, as per school norms, can anyone tell me who is eligible to access student data? Who is eligible? Who is the eligible person to access the data? Class teacher and principal, either class teacher or principal. Now, can anyone tell me, sir, can I add or can I define these two functions inside a structure? Can I club the data and code that act upon the data together in a structure? Is it possible to create functions inside a structure? Sorry, not possible. So this kind of clubbing is not possible in the procedure orientation. Sir, it is possible in object orientation, sir. Object orientation. Sir, how it is possible in object orientation? if you try to add the data and eligible code that act upon the data in objective orientation, we can call it as encapsulation. Encapsulation. Now remember, in objective orientation, if you try to define a function inside a structure, sir, it is a no more structure. It is called as a class, sir. It is called as a class. It is called as a class. Now tell me, what is a class? Class is almost similar to the structure. Class is almost similar to the structure. But what is the basic difference? In the structure, only data part is allowed. Functions are not allowed. But in a class, but both the data and code that act upon the data, we can club it. By using which phenomena? By using a concept called class. Sir, this clubbing is nothing but what? Encapsulation. How this encapsulation is implemented? By using class. That's why when somebody will ask you in the interview, in your project, can you please show me where is encapsulation is implemented? You have to answer them wherever class and object you encountered. In my project, encapsulation is implemented. Right?